What's up, guys? It's me, Jordanthevoicesguy. It's been a minute since I've been on here. Uh, Maybe not a minute. It's been, I don't know, 4 or 5 months since I've made a video. Gosh, a lot has changed since I've last been here. I used to be on an improv team, and that is no longer true. I left the group in October. I got a new job. I'm a bus driver now, oddly enough. I know it's weird job change. I used to scoop ice cream, and now I drive a bus, but why not, you know? I haven't shaved in a few weeks, so my facial hair is getting a little long, so that's cool. But everything's chilling. And the main reason I decided to make this video was to talk about a really cool opportunity I had. I guess it was about a month ago now. As many of you know, I'm a big Muppet fan. I have been for many years. I've always watched productions involving Jim Henson or a lot of his work. And I'd always see his name in the credits and like Bear in the Big Blue House. And I always figured, like, who is this Jim Henson guy? And I remember I was 8 years old, and Follow That Bird, which was a movie Sesame Street did back in the 80s. It was on TV, and I said, I haven't seen Sesame Street in a couple years. Let me just sit down and watch this movie. I don't know what it is. And from that point on, I was just like obsessed with trying to figure out how the Muppets worked and, who the people were behind them, because I would look at the credits and I'd see, like, oh, Jim Henson, he plays Kermit and Ernie. And I'd see Frank Oz plays Cookie Monster and Grover and Bert, and I'd go, who are these people? How are they doing all these different characters? I knew they were puppets, but I didn't know how they worked really. And then I started building puppets and watching Muppet TV specials, movies, all that stuff. And very recently, I was watching a show that some of the Sesame Street performers put on Facebook called Below the Frame. And they announced, oh yeah, by the way, we're doing one of our puppeteer workshops. And I said, okay, I've always thought about trying to go to one, but I'd never heard of any of them going on. So I realized, okay, I have this opportunity to audition, so I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to try it out. So I made an audition video. I actually tried doing it here. I'm here in my college home. And the ceiling in my bedroom's really low, so I couldn't do it over there. Couldn't fit it properly, so I had to do it back in my home, back home. And it worked. It worked out fine. I made the video, and I was like okay with it. I said, it's not perfect, but I tried my best. I spent, I don't know, maybe 6 hours on it, not counting the time I spent here. But the video is only a minute and a half because those are the limitations. But I sent it and I said, it's fine. And then, I figured, okay, nothing's going to happen. I'm sure a bunch of people are going to try out. It's just going to be whatever. It's fine. I'm just happy that I tried to do it. Sure enough, a few weeks later, I get an email saying, congratulations, you've been accepted to the Sesame Workshop, Puppeteering Workshop. And I was like, oh, like, this is actually happening, okay. So I had to call home, like, hey, I kind of need to go to New York in a couple weeks. Like, can we figure this out? And it was hard because I somehow convinced myself it was in the summer. So I thought, okay, if it's in the summer, I don't have classes or anything, I can just figure it out and, I have time to, decide if I can go. I realized, okay, I have like 3 weeks till it's happening. Actually, that's not true. It was maybe a month and a half. I was like, all right, I got to make sure, can I actually do this? So the luckiest thing in the world, I looked through my schedule. I had no midterms. I had no papers due. I had no big assignments due. And like, I talked to the job because I just started my bus driving job, and I was like, hey, I might have to leave for like a week. And they're like, well, you're just training, so go ahead. So I was like, great, that's awesome. And I went through Expedia. If you're traveling, Expedia, they're really cool. So I went. I'm not sponsored by them, but Expedia, if you want to give me money, go ahead. And I was able to figure it out. So there I was in New York, which was just crazy. I'd only been one time before, and I was just like, I'm just out here like about to puppeteer in New York with the Sesame Street performers. This is crazy. And sure enough, I go to the workshop, and it's a room with, I think it was like 30 of us. We're all just sitting there, just like excited and like, kind of nervous, but like we're ready to like be a part of something that, you know, has almost 50 years of relevance in the world. And mind you, it wasn't an audition for the show. I'm not going to be on the show, at least not anytime soon. We'll see in the future. But it was just there to learn about puppeteering and how to become better performers. That's the whole point of the workshop, is just to see, they can assess, you know, what are some of your strengths, what are some of your weaknesses, how can we help you to become a better puppeteer, and also to connect with other people who share the same passion. And that was a lot of fun. I met a lot of people, some of whom have actually seen this channel before, so thanks to you guys, because they're like, oh yeah, you're Jordan the Voices guy, and I was like, what? And you know, it's because they saw the puppet building videos, which, by the way, are the highest viewed videos, I think, on this channel. It's not even why I made this channel, but, you know, people have seen them, so thank you. So that was weird. You know, I'd known a couple of people who were at the workshop, too. I said, oh, I've seen your stuff on Instagram or, you know, wherever. So that was fun to meet people that I've been watching for years as well. And just to learn from the puppeteers firsthand was a lot of fun. We learned from Matt Vogel and Marty Robinson, Stephanie DeBrizzo, and Peter Linz, all very talented, amazing, generous people. It was a fantastic opportunity to learn from them. The crazy thing, though, was in New York, I also had a couple of other chance encounters. This is 100% true. I made a mission for myself to have authentic New York pizza, because the one time I was in New York before, it was an 8th grade trip. We went to New York, and they told us we were going to have pizza for dinner, and we're all excited, and they took us to Sbarro, that place in the food court at the mall, and we were upset, because we said, you know, we're in New York, like one of the pizza capitals of the world, and you're going to take us to Sbarro? Come on. So I made an effort. I said, okay, I'm going to be here for like 4 days. I'm going to make an effort every single day. I'm going to try to have pizza, different places, just try to get a sense of like authentic New York, at least in Manhattan, pizza. And I did. It was great. And one of the days, it was actually after the first workshop, I'm walking down the street, and I see a pizza place, and I say, you know, I'm going to try and get a slice. So I go and get a slice, and I'm walking down the street, eating a slice of pizza, just minding my P's and Q's. And all of a sudden, I see somebody walking down the block, and I'm like, oh, you know, people are just walking around. It's New York. But then I get a closer look, and it's Chris Rock. And you know, it wasn't some guy who looked like Chris Rock. It was Chris Rock. And I was like, yo. And I'm looking around. Nobody else. The weird thing, it was New York, but no one else was on the block. It was just the two of us. So I'm looking around like, does anyone else see this? It's Chris Rock. And so he comes towards me. Not to me, but he's like walking down the street. And I'm like, hi. And he goes, what's up? And he's got 2 shopping bags. And he was walking kind of quickly. He's by himself. So I figured he probably doesn't want to stop. I'm not going to ask him for a picture or anything. But I'm just going to say hi. So I said hi. And he's like, what's up? And so I said, hey, man, I do comedy too, a little bit. And he goes, okay. And I realized I can't end on that. Like, this is Chris. I'm not going to see him again. So I don't know what possessed me. But I went like this, and I said, keep on rocking. And he turns back, and he just stares at me and walks away. That was great. But then another thing, it was I think the second workshop after that, another Sesame Street performer, Leslie Carrara-Rudolph. She had her, I think it was called her adult cabaret show, and she got us discounted tickets, which was very nice of her. So a bunch of us went to that, and as we're in the audience, I'm looking around. This is before the show, and I see across the room Cheetah Rivera, who I don't know too well, but I recognized her, and I said, oh, that's Cheetah Rivera. That's kind of cool. And then I pivot over, and in one of the tables in the front row, I see Fred Newman. Now, some of you may know Fred Newman's name. A lot of you, if you're around my age, you probably know his work, especially if you watch Doug, that cartoon Doug. Remember Skeeter? He Doug's best friend. He was blue, and he made the little honking and like little sound effects here and there. That was him, and he was also Porkchop the dog. And if you watch Between the Lions, he was that guy. He was like in a sweater, and he would like do like the sounds of words. He would just sort of do like the phonetic, just putting words together and do that kind of thing. That's the worst explanation of his segment, but that's what he did. And so I saw him, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I gotta say something to him. So I walk over. And mind you, there's no reason for me to do this. He doesn't know who I am. This is before the show. It's like a nice venue. I'm like, I'm just going to go up and like fanboy for a second. Why not? So I walk up, and I'm like, excuse me, Mr. Newman. And he was like the nicest guy in the world. He's like, oh, hi, thank you. How are you doing? Like, how'd you know my work? And I'm like, of course I know your work. I watched Between the Lions and Doug and Who Framed Roger Rabbit. And he's like, okay, cool. And like, he made an effort to learn my name. He's like, what's your name? And it's Jordan, it's whatever. He's like, oh, hey, nice to meet you, Jordan. We're talking for a second. And then after the show, a bunch of us went up and we're still talking to him. And he's telling us old stories because he used to work with Jim Henson a little bit in the 80s. And he knew some of the puppeteers, like Richard Hunt. He was good friends with him. So he's telling us old stories and stuff. And as we're all leaving the venue, I thought to myself, like, my sister's going to kill me if I met Fred Newman and didn't have him do Skeeter's Honk. Because she was a big Doug fan. So I asked, his daughter was there, so I asked his daughter, I was like, hey, because he'd gone to the bathroom, like, do you think he'd mind if I asked him to do Skeeter? She's like, oh, no, of course. Like, he does my friend's voicemails, he does this thing all the time, he loves doing it. So I was like, all right, cool. So he came back, and I was like, Mr. Newman, he's like, call me Fred. I'm like, all right, Fred. Well, Fred, would you mind doing Skeeter for my sister to do the honk? He's like, yeah, of course. So he does it. It's amazing. Oh my gosh, it was the coolest thing in the world.
There we go.
Hey, Doug. Hey, it's Skeeter here. Cool. I don't know. How old are you? How old?
She's 23.
23. Oh, that's such a cool age. You're young. Good. Well, nice to meet you, at least on the video anyway.
And then for the workshop, they brought out their characters. So Matt Vogel had the Count, who he's been doing for a few years, and Marty brought out Telly. He's been doing that since the 80s, and Stephanie brought out Prairie Dawn. She's taken over from Fran Brill a couple years ago. And Peter Lenz brought Ernie, who he's been doing for, I think, about a year and a half. So we all got pictures and videos with them, which was a lot of fun. And, I got some pictures from the workshop, and I might sprinkle them in here and there. You might see one here or whatever. So it was a lot of fun. I got to meet a lot of cool people, and I got to learn a lot about my own performance and how I need to improve. I know that I don't have a lot of monitor performance experience because when you're performing on the show, you're not looking up at your puppet. You're looking at a monitor down on the floor or right in front of you, and the monitor is showing you what the camera sees, not a mirror of what you would. If I'm looking to the left on the camera, I actually have to turn to the right. That's flipped. At least I'm using my laptop's webcam. So I'm saying it wouldn't be mirrored. You have to learn how to do backwards performance, essentially. It feels different, and I don't have a lot of experience with that. So a bunch of us went to a different room and we're practicing with that. So just trying to take as many notes as I could while I was there, and just trying to grow as a performer, because my thing is that I know this is the kind of field I want to work in. Do I know exactly what it's going to be? Not really. I have an idea of what I want to do, and I know the things I can do, and so my goal is to use the things I can do to get as much experience there, and hopefully once people see that I can do these things, they might ask, well, what do you want to do? Or what other things do you think you can do? And then hopefully I can try to get my way into those things. So, just figuring your life out. I don't know. Just, I'm getting there. I want to learn. I want to grow. I want to be a better performer, a better artist. That's the goal in life, because this is what I want to do. This is what I can do. And I'm not good at a lot of other things. So that's I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. Well, I think we've exhausted everything we can say. Ultimately, I had a great time. It was probably the best week of my life. I'm not exaggerating in any way, shape, or form. It was a lot of fun. It was a fun story. Just wanted to tell it. Maybe one of you watching this is going to go to a workshop. You're watching this, or maybe you want to go to a workshop. You're trying to audition, They just say, put your best foot forward and do your best work. You don't have this opportunity all the time. So if you have that opportunity, take it and do your best. And hopefully success will find you. You will find success. And then you and success can make a big old bear hug. And, it'll be a lot of fun. So thank you for watching and listening. I know it's been a long time since I've posted. Hopefully I post more often, especially in the summer, because I'll have more time. I won't have classes. And I have some ideas that I might be throwing around with other people. We might put some things together. Who knows? We'll see. But anyway, it's been 16 minutes. I'm going to let you guys go because I've been rambling for a few minutes now. So thank you for watching. Take care. Like and subscribe if you want. I'm not going to push that. I don't post often, so do whatever you want. Unsubscribe.